Welcome to Unclear Clinical Insights, the podcast where clinical evidence, healthcare standards, and litigation strategy come together. I'm Michelle Carroll, founder and chief clinical strategist of Unclear Summit. SBAR, Situation, Background, Assessment, and Recommendation, is a structured communication method used to transfer critical patient information during handoffs, shift changes, and care transitions. When that communication is incomplete, delayed, or inaccurate, the receiving clinician may begin care without essential information about the patient's condition, recent changes, pending concerns, or required follow-up. That breakdown can place the patient at immediate risk. In this episode, I will explain how SBAR and handoff communication should be documented, where communication failures appear in the medical record, and how to connect a breakdown in information transfer to the patient harm that followed. Okay, so here's something wild. Studies show that nearly 80% of serious medical errors are linked to miscommunication during patient handoffs. 80%. That's what we're diving into today.
Wow, that's a staggering number. And honestly, it makes sense. Hospitals are these incredibly fast-paced environments where so much can go wrong if even one detail gets missed.
Exactly. And that's where SBAR comes in. It's this communication tool that's supposed to help healthcare professionals share critical information clearly and efficiently. But here's the thing, it's not foolproof.
Right? Because even the best tools can fail if they're not used properly. So, what's the deal with SBAR? Why is it so important?
Well, SBAR stands for Situation, Background, Assessment, and Recommendation. It's a framework designed to make sure that when one healthcare provider hands off a patient to another, whether it's at the end of a shift or during a transfer, nothing gets lost in translation.
That sounds straightforward enough. But I'm guessing the reality is a lot messier?
Oh, absolutely. Take this for example. There was a case where a patient was transferred from the ER to the ICU. The ER nurse forgot to mention that the patient had a severe allergy to a specific medication.
Oh no, let me guess. They ended up giving that medication in the ICU?
Exactly. The patient went into anaphylactic shock. Thankfully, they survived, but it was a close call. And the kicker, it was completely preventable.
That's terrifying. And it really highlights how high the stakes are in healthcare. But what is it about hospitals that makes communication so challenging?
Well, for starters, hospitals are these high-pressure environments where decisions have to be made quickly. Add to that the fact that healthcare workers are often working long shifts, sometimes 12 hours or more, and you've got a recipe for miscommunication.
And then there's the hierarchy, right? Like, the way information flows between doctors, nurses, and other staff can sometimes create barriers.
Exactly. Sometimes junior staff might hesitate to speak up, even if they notice something's off. And then there's the sheer volume of information. Think about it. Every patient has vitals, lab results, medications, allergies, medical history. It's a lot to keep track of.
That's overwhelming just to think about. So, SBAR is supposed to streamline all of that into a format that's easy to understand and act on?
Right. But here's the thing. Even with a tool like SBAR, it's not foolproof. It requires training, practice, and a culture that prioritizes clear communication.
So, what happens when that culture isn't there?
Well, that's when you start to see negligence cases. And let me be clear, most healthcare professionals are incredibly dedicated and skilled. But when the system fails them, or when they fail to use the system properly, bad things can happen.
Like that case you mentioned earlier?
Exactly. And it's not just about individual errors. Sometimes the problem is systemic. For example, if a hospital doesn't provide adequate training on how to use SBAR, or if they don't enforce its use, that's a systemic issue.
So, it's not just about blaming the individual, it's about looking at the bigger picture.
Absolutely. And that's where things get tricky, because it's not always easy to pinpoint where the breakdown happened. Was it the ER nurse who forgot to mention the allergy? Or was it the hospital's fault for not creating an environment where that information was prioritized?
It's probably a bit of both. But, this reminds me of something I read about aviation. They have these incredibly strict communication protocols for pilots and air traffic controllers. And it's all because they learned, often the hard way, how devastating communication failures can be.
That's a great comparison. And actually, the SBAR framework was inspired by those aviation protocols. It's all about creating a standard way to share critical information, so nothing gets lost in translation.
But even in aviation, mistakes still happen. So it's not like any system is perfect.
True. But the goal isn't perfection, it's improvement. Every little step we take to make communication clearer and more effective can save lives.
That's such an important point. And I think it's something we can all learn from, even outside of healthcare. Clear communication is key in so many areas of life.
Absolutely. Whether you're in a hospital, an office, or even just at home, taking the time to communicate clearly can make a huge difference.
So what's the takeaway here?
I'd say it's this. Tools like SBAR are incredibly valuable, but they're only as effective as the people using them. It's not enough to have a system. You need to create a culture that supports and values clear communication.
And that culture has to come from the top down, right?
Exactly. Leaders set the tone. If they prioritize communication, if they provide the training and resources their teams need, that trickles down.
It's a team effort, really.
It is. And when it works, it's amazing to see. Patients get better care. Healthcare professionals feel more confident in their work. And everyone wins.
Well, here's hoping more hospitals take this to heart.
Definitely. Because at the end of the day, it's all about saving lives.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thank you for listening to Lexcura Clinical Insights. A handoff case is built by comparing what the outgoing clinician knew with what the receiving clinician was told and what happened next. The analysis should align the nursing notes, transfer documentation, shift reports, SBAR forms, provider communications, pending orders, abnormal findings, and subsequent assessments. The key question is whether critical information was communicated clearly, received, understood, and acted upon. When a significant change in condition, unresolved concern, or required intervention disappears between shifts or care settings, the record may reveal a direct communication failure. The final step is connecting that omission to the delay in recognition, treatment, or escalation that contributed to the patient's injury. For more clinical intelligence, litigation analysis, and practical guidance, visit Lexcura Summit at lexcurasummit.com. I'm Michelle Carroll. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next episode of Lexcura Clinical Insights.